Mufasa was never the rightful.
Yo, welcome to my channel where I peacefully disturb your illusion, where the truth only hurts when you live a lie. You can be an adult and still be engaged in your childhood movies because the childhood is the foundation of your life. Blueprint, if you will. Start your life from the ground up. It's like building a house. Your childhood will have an impact on your adult life. In 1994, that was the first time I ever been in a movie theater. The Lion King came out. And I believe that I am the biggest Lion King fan there is. I cannot make that claim unless I give you the best breakdown of the Lion King on the internet that you will ever find. Before I start this, I would like to give a shout out to my friend Ty, such a beautiful spirit. Without further ado, let's get into it. You remember this scene? Mufasa was telling Simba, said, the great kings of the past looked down on us for no stars. He told Simba, just remember that those stars will always be there to guide you, and so will I. Basically, the past kings of Pride Rock is looking down. They seen Mufasa as an orphan come into the family and take over the crown. Seeing that Scar was going to be the king. What if this was the gods telling them, yo, we need to end this bloodline? Think about it for real. This is what it looked like when Scar actually ruled. Scar unalived Mufasa, right? In the midst of doing that, he was able to prove himself to be a king. The time Simba was a child till he became an adult line, so he had plenty of time to prove that he was the rightful king. Now, when Mufasa was a king, there was balance, there was greenery, the circle of life, everything was balanced. When Scar was a king, there was no food, there was no water, people were starving. People was even talking about leaving their home. A complete famine over there. But what if those gods saw what was going to happen if Scar was going to be a king? What if they knew that, yeah, he has royal bloodline, but we know that if he become king, Pride Rock would be doomed as we know it. Maybe it's time to switch it up. Maybe Mufasa was at the right place at the right time, because they were thinking, okay, this guy is fit to rule. Because when it comes to the kingdom, it's not about the people who's running the kingdom. It's about the kingdom itself. So there have been kings that have been overthrown. Royal bloodline don't mean anything, especially when you don't know how to rule. I'm guessing that these gods saw what it was going to. Scar came up in a royal beginning. That means everything was handed to him. He's a prince. Mufasa was an orphan. He knew what it was like to be poor, so he got it out the mud. You know that saying, only person that start at the top are grave diggers? Mufasa started at the bottom. So somewhere forming another, while everybody's on the internet saying, oh, Mufasa's the real op, he wasn't supposed to be king. What if he worked for that spot? What if he proved himself to be a rightful leader? It's a reason why he became king. If you belong to any religion, God always let the devil prove a point. The world is lying in the power of the wicked one. Not saying that is right, but those spirit gods allowed Mufasa to be unalive so Scar could actually see that he wasn't fit to rule. Instead of Scar saying, yo, I'm not the king after all, I shouldn't be ruling, he got more puffed up with pride. Which give us the Simba lesson. He kind of would have grew up like Scar. Everything that was handed to him, he probably would have grew up in that way. Simba grew up without a dad. Even though he was born into royalty, he lost everything, and he seen what it was like to be poor. He was an orphan, just like Mufasa was, of a stray. He went out and hung out with these two individuals. Simba was suffering from trauma. What do people do when they're suffering from trauma? They run away from their trauma by distracting themselves. Here's a grown lion that's running away from responsibility while his home back home was going to ruin. A grown man without responsibility is nothing but a boy, and that's how Simba was living. He was a grown lion with no responsibility. He was a grown lion living like a cub, but do you know what can help a man change his life around? Can you feel? No, I can't sing. I came back with like, hey man, you need to get on your grind. I mean, they made love in the jungle and stuff. Simba thought after he got finished, I can go back to living a life. She's like, no, you still got responsibilities. She went to hold Simba accountable, and Simba resented her for that. Mufasa was one of the guys that ended up talking to him amongst the clouds. What made Simba become the rightful king? What made him become a man? He stopped running from his trauma, and he went back and faced his past. He said, let me stop hanging around these boys because I'm a man. We really think about it, Nala really saved Pride Rock. Because if she would have left Simba in Wonderland, Simba would have never went back to face his trauma. He would always try to run from it. Look at the people in real life that run from their trauma, that run to vices every time something comes up, and from responsibilities, etc. When he went back, he overthrew Scar and he became the king, and guess what? Now the flower blooms again. The circle of life is back. Balance is back. Simba had to go through things. Do you know what I see? Mufasa was an orphan. Simba was a stray. So in order to become a king, you kind of got to know the balance. You got gotta know the highs and the lows. What did Scar go through? He was born a prince, and this movie will tell more because I am going to watch this. I don't care how old I am. I'll be the most childish person there. I love The Lion King. Shout out to the sister that made this stitch. Pray for me right now because I have COVID. And I have to drink plenty of orange juice for those who need it.